Hi, and welcome back to How Would You Quilt This? I'm Angelique, and this is Jenna, and we are definitely two different quilters, and so we're going to share with you how we're going to quilt some quilts that have a lot of squares in them.
Yes. Should we get into the first quilt?
Absolutely.
Okay, first quilt. I love this one. It's so cute. It's made by Emily Hutchinson. I love the colors. I love the 9-patch. I especially love all the blueberries in it. It's so cute.
I love this quilt. I like the 9-patch. It's just I haven't done a lot of 9-patches. I've done like a disappearing 9-patch, but I like the alternating colors here of that. So this was a fun one.
It's so cute. Okay, when it comes to free motion wise, what I would do is I would do some cross hatching lines in the 9-patch part, and it looks like there's like an X in every single one of the little blocks in the 9-patch.
And it reminds me of the sweaters.
Right? It's so fun. Then in the blueberry parts, because whenever I do free motion, I tend to do a mixture of ruler work and organic free motion lines, just because I like the mix of doing something more geometric and organic. I think it balances each other out, and especially with the blueberries in the middle, almost always with applique, I will go ahead and echo a 1/4 inch around whatever is appliqued, and then I'll start my whatever design around it. And to fill in the white area of those applique blocks, I would do some fun little leaves, like a little leaf meander in each of the blocks. And then when it comes to the border, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit stumped, and I'm still a little bit stumped. So I'm curious to see what you do, but just right off the bat, I think I would do in the white, continue the pattern of doing more of the leafy meanders, and then in each of the blue half square triangle part, maybe doing like a triangle echo inside, like a 1/4 inch in from the triangle. I could think of a better idea later, but that's what goes to my mind.
I didn't know these were applique. I thought these were fussy cutted.
Ah.
So that is going to change my thought, but assuming that these are kind of fussy cutted, I thought that it would be fun to kind of do that continuous curve thing on the 9-patch, so that I added some curves to the more square parts of the blocks. And then to kind of balance that out, I also went with the linear ones and tried to make those look like the 9-patches.
Oh,
so I did it totally different. And then for the borders, I just kind of quilted the triangles. Yeah.
So my idea too for echoing the inside of the blue triangle part, you had the same idea. You had it first though, because I just came up with it right now. I promise I didn't see your stuff beforehand.
So I just wanted something that would generally just blend in and not having the quilt in front of me to match the colors. I mean, it does look a little yellowish, so probably the pearl white, but maybe even the light wool, just something that would blend those in, so one of the neutrals that we have.
I think I would go with light wool. I don't know why, but on a white background, I find that I like light wool the best.
See, and this one has that little bit of a tinge
a warmer
to it, that
tint,
warmer tinge. So that's why I was leaning towards this, but again, I would make that final determination when the quilt was in front of
it
me.
really depends on how, like, the white that Emily used in this quilt.
Yeah, and that's kind of hard sometimes to tell with a photo.
But it's so cute. Do you do applique quilts often?
I do a little bit of applique stuff, but usually not on a full quilt because I'm lazy. I save applique for like a pillow or something where, just repeating the same kind of applique over and over again for a large quilt just seems like daunting to me for some reason. So I do it for more smaller projects really, or like a wall hanging. But yeah, that's why maybe I just kind of assumed it was fussy cutted.
Yeah, that's fun. In the comments below, please let us know what you would do on this quilt.
Absolutely.
Tell us what you would do on this quilt and for the next one coming up. But let's get into automation for this quilt.
Sure.
QCT6 is an automation system that you can hook up to your Qnique long arm.
Right.
What would you do, Angelique, for automation?
So because of the blueberries, when I did my search, I was looking for berries, and I found this really cute blackberry brambles. Nice. And we played with how it would look in QCT6, and you could do this in plus or edge to edge. I think primary plus or even pro would work. And I like the diagonals that were kind of created in this, because that was going to draw your eye, since everything looking so square, it's going to draw you to kind of look at it a little bit differently. And I thought that would be fun.
I love that. My first thought was running rainbow.
Cute.
And I thought it was so cute. Also, all of the automation designs, patterns that we are showing today, you can get on graceframe.com at the design store. And there is a subscription option where you can pay $20 a month and get 10 designs. Which
such a good deal.
is such a good deal. I could basically get all the designs that we're talking about today
like
for
$2.
$20, and usually they're like $10, $15 each. So this is such a good deal.
And if you look at other websites, yeah, they're not
Right?
they're not cheap.
With running rainbow, I just think this one is so cute. I love how tight it is. I like the little connecting circles that happen, and I think that could give like blueberry-esque.
Yeah, definitely.
I love mod flower. I think this one could be really fun. And this one I
like
staggered.
how it kind of creates like a diamond shape in there.
Right? I staggered this one so it creates that diamond, and I love that. And then I also thought
Interesting.
overcast would be fun because it wouldn't take away from the applique at all, and it would just be some fun little organic clouds in the back.
And then I also looked at, because again, I tend to be more of a custom block quilter. So for the 9-piece, I was thinking simple block 3, because again, it's got those little circles to represent the blueberries, but gave more of that, you know, shape to it. So instead of it looking so square, you know, kind of changed that a little bit. And then I found the blueberries, for the blueberry ones, using the wreath loops.
Okay.
Depending how, you know, how much applique is there now, knowing that it's applique, or before when I just thought it was fussy cutting, to really kind of shape around those particular designs.
Ah, I like that. That would be cute.
Yeah.
Okay, next quilt. Technically, I have one more design.
Well,
but...
share it with us.
Okay, I forgot about this design, but this one is Leaves to Folk Art Block, and it's a block design that I would rather use as a pantograph. And I
can see that, yeah.
And I like how it looks as a pantograph, and I think if I got it placed correctly, kind of like how it is in this picture, each of the little inside block pieces would fit inside each of the blocks of Emily's quilt, and I think it would look really cute. And it's busy enough that whenever it's quilted out, especially using a color that blends into the background, you won't really see the quilting because it just is so busy that you won't notice like one particular part of it.
That's really cool. Also do us a favor and like and subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss an episode. All right, what's our next quilt?
Okay, next quilt is made by Claire Duffy, and it is so cute. I just love this guy. It is a version of a 9-patch quilt as well. Who went first last time? Was it me or was it you?
I think I went first.
Okay.
I don't remember. Doesn't matter.
I don't
You
remember
go
either.
ahead.
Okay, this one I would do an all-over quilt design, especially because there are so many colors and patterns, and it looks more scrappy. And with a more scrappy quilt, I like to do all-over designs, edge to edge, just because it blends into the background well. And because all of this is more straight lines, I wanted the edge to edge to be more organic, so I did some little spirals, swirls.
Fun.
And I will say I did these on a quilt like last week, not on this quilt, but on a different quilt. And I need more practice on them. They are, like, it looked fine, but when I was learning to long arm, I had a pantograph that looked like this that I would trace using a laser, and I got really good at it. But I haven't done that pantograph in so long with the laser, so I've lost
your muscle
memory with
yeah.
that. And so I think doing the swirls to balance out how geometric the pattern of the quilt would be super cute and fun.
Interesting. I did something totally different. I broke this up into squares.
Okay.
And so basically doing some straight line quilting to create these larger squares, and then inside of the squares, I did a little bit of meandering.
I like it. It's like what you said in another, in the last episode, you tend to do more blocks because you started quilting with a smaller throat space, and so you can see that translate into this design.
Yeah, definitely. And I just thought it'd be a fun way, because a meander to me, when you're just doing an all over meander, it can look really cute, but in a large quilt like this, it just seems so overwhelming to me. And so I just thought this was a fun way to still do the meander, but then break it up into pieces so I didn't feel overwhelmed.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. It's cute. It's fun. Again, with the meander and the organic shapes of it, it helps balance everything out.
And then colors for this quilt, I'm not sure which one of these I would use for sure until I got the quilt in front of me, but probably denim or the blue sapphire, because there's a lot of blues in here, and I thought that would just really pop.
For me, I was thinking either the Moon Glade.
Oh, okay.
So If you wanted something to blend in more, the Moon Glade. If you want something to stand out a little bit more, the Midnight Blue and the French Blue. And I think you could go either or. It really, again, depends on when we get the quilt here, we're not actually quilting this.
Yeah,
this is someone else's quilt. But laying this on to see which one works best.
And French blue is one of those really interesting colors that depending on the quilt will look either kind of grayish or blue. So it does blend very, very nicely.
Yes.
That's a good choice.
I love French blue. It's just so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Okay, automation-wise,
Do you want me to do automation first?
Yes,
Okay.
I want you to go first on this one.
I had a couple of ones for this. Now, this quilt felt very masculine to me. I think it was the blues and the browns.
Yeah.
So the first one, I just thought this was fun. It still kind of kept some of the straight lines, but added some of those circles to it. It's called Short Circuit. I, like I said, just would do a typical edge-to-edge in our QCT6 and just try to fit it in the areas to kind of create that little bit of offset that you see with it. My other choice was
that's
Let
a
'Em
fun
Play.
one.
And the reason was, there was just something about this quilt that made me think of, let's go to one of those like fall, winter football games to cuddle up. And I thought, depending on who this was for, this would be a good one for that.
I feel like when it comes to automation, I always lean towards doing something that blends into the background well rather than something like fun and funky. And I love the idea of doing the Let 'Em Play with the footballs and the helmets, especially on a quilt like this where it's all like geometric, everything looks the same. It's fun having a pantograph like this that will just add a little bit of character to the quilt.
And I think it really,
that's a great idea.
And some of it would be like, who's this going to?
Yeah.
And not knowing that, this may not work depending on, the person who made this. It might have been for somebody else. But that was just kind of the feelings it gave me.
Right.
What do you got for edge to edge?
Okay, with this spiral idea, I thought of spiraling teardrops, and I thought I liked this one at first, and I still like the design, but for me, for this particular quilt, there's too much blank spaces in between when you nest these. And I think for another quilt, I would feel good about the blank spaces, but for this one, I didn't love how many spaces were in there. So I'm going back to Mod Flower, that I also thought this would be a good one, but you're right, this quilt does lean a little bit more masculine, and a Mod Flower does not lean masculine, and so it just, again, depends on who you're giving it to. I think Retro Rainbow would look really cute on it.
I think you could really choose any edge-to-edge design for this one. In
Right?
fact, so much so, I didn't even do a custom block design for this one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I honestly, out of my 3 designs, I would pick your Let 'Em Play design because I think that's so fun.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's so cute.
I'm interested to see what our audience would pick.
Right?
So let us know in the comments, which one would you do, or what edge-to-edge design would you do on this one in
Yes.
QCT6? Let us know.
And if you want your quilt featured in another episode of How Would You Quilt This, make sure to email us. The email will be right here. Cross your fingers, maybe we'll choose your quilt. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you next time on How Would You Quilt This.
How would you quilt this? Bye-bye.
See ya.